The Blue Jays win streak ends at 2 as they lose 4-1 to the Minnesota Twins in a jam-packed Target Field. Really not. I mean, my goodness, I feel like there's more people there, more people at my Pee Wee games than there were at the ballpark there tonight watching the Jays and Twins. Trent Thorne on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. Jake Odorizzi on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. And the Jays, they actually get off to a 1-0 lead, and it's all from Freddie Galvis. He gets the single. He does a great piece of base running. And then Smokey gets the RBI single, kind of a looping single from Justin Smoke. But it drops in, and Galvis comes in to score. The Jays got a 1-0 lead. We talk about it, right? And you got to get, once your team gets on the board, you want to throw up a 0. Trent Thorne struggled in his outing today, and he gives up an RBI single to Nelson Cruz. 1 run scores, and then Eddie Rosario grounds into a double play. However, 1 run comes in to score on the play, and it is a 2-1 Twins lead, just like that. And Trent Thorne settles down a little bit, but in the third inning, he faces Cruz again, and that's a problem because Nelson Cruz doubles to left field. Polanco comes in to score and makes it a 3-1 lead. And let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Trent Thorne gets yanked out of the game, and in comes Elvis Luciano. And he walks Crone, and then he throws a wild pitch. Then he gives up an RBI single. A very tough inning, or start to the inning, for Elvis Luciano. But he does settle in there as he gets the next batter, Jonathan Scope. And then he comes out for the next inning and gets the job done. So in hindsight, his inning and a third of work wasn't terrible, but he does walk a batter, throw a wild pitch, and give up an RBI single. His stat line only looks as an inning and a third of 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts, which usually isn't that bad. But the fact is that Trent Thorne got all 4 runs charged against him because of Luciano throwing the wild pitch and walking Crone and giving up the RBI single. Trent Thorne's line goes as so: 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 strikeouts, and walked 3 guys. He had trouble with his location early on, and clearly it came back to bite him in the end. And for Trent Thorne, it's back-to-back tough starts for him. But, really, who else are the Jays going to throw out there? You want to keep throwing out the young guy out there, obviously, with Ryan Barucki. We have no idea really what's going on with him. He had a cortisone shot in his arm not too long ago. So I don't know what the heck's going to be going on with him. Positive thing, though, Javi Guerra throws 2 really good innings for the Blue Jays in this one. He goes 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and strikes out a batter in the 7th and the 8th inning. But really not a whole lot. Positive-wise, Freddie Galvis, 2 for 4 in the game. Eric Sogard continues to hit the ball very well. He was 1 for 3 and also drew a walk in the ball game. Randall Grichuk 1 for 4, Smokey 1 for 4, Hernandez 1 for 4, Brandon Drury 1 for 4, and Billy McKinney 1 for 3. Freddie Galvis, the only Blue Jay with a multi-hit night, and really not a whole lot of offense for the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, they had some hits, but they were kind of sprinkled in. They didn't really get any kind of mojo going at any point during the ball game. And the fact that you had Thorne having a tough night and Luciano having a tough start to his outing, it was a recipe for a disaster for the Toronto Blue Jays, and that is exactly what happened in the game today. Jake Odorizzi, former Tampa Bay Ray, he seems to still have the Tampa roots, you know what I mean? He's facing the Blue Jays, and the Tampa Bay Rays usually torch the Jays, even though he's technically a Minnesota Twin now. He was a Ray for so long, and Jays fans know him too damn well. And apparently he knows the Blue Jays well, even though 3/4 of the team is brand spanking new. But, you know what? When you see the jersey on the other side, it really doesn't matter, right? You go back to Jose Bautista and Edwin against the Minnesota Twins. No matter who they were facing on the mound, they always crushed dingers against the Minnesota Twins. So, guys, the finale of this 4-game set against these Twins goes tomorrow afternoon. It's a 1:10 first pitch. In Minnesota. Clay Buchholz on the mound for his second start as a Toronto Blue Jay. His first one went very, very well against former New York Yankee and Pittsburgh Pirate, of course, Michael Pineda, who's 2-0 with a 3 ERA this year. Both pitchers have had pretty good starts to their season. Buchholz obviously with the lone start on the season. Pineda's thrown 15 innings in his big league season so far. Let's talk positives now, right? You guys want to do that, right? You want to talk about the 440-foot moonshot Vladdy Jr. hitting in AAA tonight? Oh, baby. Cleared the wall, cleared the ballpark. I mean, it was a hanger, of course, but he crushed it. And look, guys, I mean, I think it's just a matter of time now before Vladdy gets that call to the big club. It shouldn't be too much longer. I mean, he's torching the ball down there, especially with that home run tonight. I mean, if you guys didn't see the highlight, please go check it out. It was an absolute moonshot from Vladdy. And guys, you know what? These type of stinkers are gonna happen, where the pitching doesn't go well. Your young pitchers don't do the greatest. You don't get a whole lot of offense. There's nobody in the stands to even really watch the game, and it's just a rough one. You know, where the Jays are going to have these games, right? You go back to the last game, and there was a lot to talk about, a lot of craziness, and the Jays won 6-5. That's great news and all that. And they win 5-3 in game one. 5 runs, lots of offense, good, positive things to talk about. But then you talk about the rough games, the 8-4 loss to the Rays, and then the 11-7 loss. But the thing about that game, well, there were things to talk about. They came back in the game, right? We can talk about things. But tonight's game, a 4-1 loss, you get 8 hits. They're sprinkled over 9 innings of work. And your pitching doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, Trent Thornton, the 25-year-old, and Luciano, the 19-year-old, don't do the greatest. Statistically, Luciano had a good ball game. But if you watch the outing, he had a struggle there early on. And offensively, like I said, guys, there really wasn't a whole lot going for the Toronto Blue Jays. Kind of a stinker of a game, but it happens. And for this Blue Jays team, they are now, 7-12 on the season. They still have a chance to win the series. I mean, they still have a chance to win their first series of the year tomorrow afternoon. Like I said, 1:10 first pitch in Minnesota. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys didn't really enjoy the ball game today. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you think of the game, the video, the atmosphere there at Target Field. It was fantastic. That's rough, people. I mean, we think the Jays are having a low attendance right now. That was I don't care if it was raining. That was awful. I mean, there was literally like a couple fans every section. Sometimes there was no fans in a section. It's rough to watch. I feel for Minnesota Twin fans watching that game and seeing the empty stadium, really. It's kind of rough to watch there. But guys, like I said, hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the one, hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below everything towards this game, this team, Vladdy Jr. possibly coming up sometime soon, because the third base spot is still up in the air for the Jays, obviously with Brandon Drury really not taking hold of any spot. And just be patient, Jays fans. He's almost here. All right, and Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition. It's going to be, we're not too sure as of yet. The links are in the description, though, for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Guys, check out my man, whoa, hold on. Take it easy. Take a step back there, big fella. Check out my main man, Mo Buckets, on Twitter, guys. He does Blue Jays Center on Instagram. If you guys haven't heard me say this already, I'm going to do so again. He is the most followed Blue Jays fan page on Instagram, 58,000 followers on Instagram. He does great stuff, quality content, puts a lot of work into the stuff, and he's a loyal fan to the channel, so I do got to do my part, my due diligence, and show him some love because it's great stuff, and I follow him, so, and I like his stuff as well. So it's a lot of good stuff he posts. Go check that out. Again, Blue Jays Center on Instagram, all right? And I'll talk to you guys, Leafs edition. You know, actually, no, hold on. Twitter is down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I'll talk to you guys. Leafs edition on Friday night as they're in TD Garden taking on the Boston Bruins in a big game. Game 5. Yeah, at TD Gardens, at least we could take a 3-2 series lead and then come back home and maybe look to end the series at home in Game 6. I don't know. It's a big game there on Friday night at TD Gardens. 7 o'clock puck drop in Boston there. And as for the Toronto Raptors, their next game is Friday as well. 7 o'clock as well. Dang it. Why couldn't it be a different night or at least a different time so we could actually watch them instead of going crazy and flipping all the channels? It's going to be crazy on Friday night. The Raptors are in Orlando taking on the Magic for Game 3 of their 7-game series against Orlando. And the Raptors are going to be taking on they're probably going to be getting the best punch of the Orlando Magic, and they got to find a way to start on time, get that first quarter flowing for the Toronto Raptors, and who the heck knows what can happen the rest of the way. And as for the Toronto Blue Jays, guys, like we talked about, their next game, the finale of this 4-game set, Clay Buchholz, Michael Pineda, the starters, in tomorrow afternoon's affair, 1:10 first pitch, as the Blue Jays, once again, look for their first series win of the season. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.